Good afternoon. Hello. Welcome to LACHSA Legacy. I'm Daryl. I'm from the class of '87, the premier graduating class of the Los Angeles County High School for the Arts, and this is our Legacy Spotlight. We are so glad that you're with us today. My co-host, Mori Edwards from the class of '88 in dance, is on her way. She's having some technical problems, but we hope she'll get with us soon. And when she does, you'll have her wonderful face and energy to join in with this podcast. We are really excited today to have this special session that we haven't had in a while. And so for many, many years, we've been working to get together all of the different parts of the LACHSA community. And now we can say that we are unifying and we have all of the parts of our community with us. And we are really, really excited to do that. We want to take a quick second and just make note of our longstanding faculty person, Jerry Freedman, who's not with us today. We're hoping that he will join us as if he's able to, but we're wishing him well as he continues to recover. And he has been on both the Legacy Board as well as serving as the longest standing faculty person at the Los Angeles County High School for the Arts. And so we adore him, we love him, and I know you all do too. So thanks for joining us. If you are not a member of LACHSA Legacy, you're an alumni with us, you are welcome to join us, and you can do so through the website, or you can do so on our Facebook page. So we look forward to hearing from you. Today's very special session involves three other very special people from the three other parts of the LACHSA community. They are Tina from the high school. She's the principal of the high school, and Jeffrey from the foundation, and also Daryl B from the Parent Association. And so we are glad to have the three of you all with us. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
What we want to do a little bit is to talk a little bit about what each of your parts of us do. Some of our alumni and some of our viewers know the school maybe a little bit, and others just may not be as familiar with the Parent Association or with the foundation and what you do and how you do it for LACHSA to make us as strong as we are. And I'm trying to count the years. I know that we started in 1987. And 1985 was the first year that we walked on campus at the Cal State University area in King Hall. And that's all we had was King Hall for the academics at that time. And then we dispersed ourselves out into different parts of the area for the music department, the dance department, the theater department, and the visual arts department. And so we had 4 departments then. Now I believe we have 6, right? Technically 6. With music, theater, dance, visual art, interdisciplinary, and cinematography, right? Did I get that right, Tina?
I believe so. And then now we're adding our stage tech as well.
Wow. So there'll be a 7th area. How awesome is that? So that's going to be great. So I can't wait to hear more about how that program is unfolding and how we really are going to be, the vision that I've always had is that LACHSA students, that our graduates, our students, we're going to proliferate the arts community across the board and across the world. And we're going to run stuff. Who runs this? We LACHSA students run this. So listen, let me start with Tina and have you talk a little bit about the school, updates, what's happening. You're the new principal, so this is your first year as principal, right? And
Yes,
you are amazing. I just want you to know, if you have not been back on campus and you haven't met Miss Tina, Dr. Tina, you want time with her. She's amazing. So Tina, tell us about what's happening at the school right now.
Well, first of all, thank you so much. What an introduction. I hope I can live up to it. But I am thrilled to be here. And I want to address first that, yes, Mr. Freedman is doing great. I saw him this afternoon and I said, I'll see you later. Come on by. And I am so sorry that I think he did already go home, but we're hoping that he'll join us, which is great. So letting all of his students, his previous students, know that he's just doing great and he looks great. Yes, he's still teaching and we love that. So I'm actually talking to you, not from King Hall. As many of you know, LACHSA, of course, is in its own building. And so this is my office at the building. And there you go. And there, you can see Jeffrey's, that's the front of the office, the front of the building. So I'm just really thrilled to be your principal. And I've been here actually for 5 years. I was in the assistant principal role, and I fell in love with the school. Myself, my doctorate. I'm glad that you mentioned doctorate because it's in music. I'm one of us, you know. And so, and it's funny. I'm just this much too old. This brand new school, LACHSA, came about when I was in high school. So of course, you know, my friends and I auditioned, and we were 2 years too old to be here. So I was very, very sad about that. But here, you know, 30 some years later, I am back, and I am blessed to work here. I am so fortunate. And, you know, of course, you know, Jeffrey and Daryl I'm just so blessed to work with them. And now with you, Daryl, this is just thrilling for me that we're able to be together. But, and I have to agree with you, LACHSA is a community, but it's like this microcosm of what LA arts need to be. I mean, we've got the best of the best here. Our kids, each one of them we're not even going to use the word talented. They are fabulous, wonderful, amazing students. And we have about 550 kids right now, and auditions are happening now this weekend as we speak, and that's what's going on now. It's a very busy time, and I'm sure and please, if you haven't visited the website lachsa.net, you can see our calendar is just filled with all of the wonderful things that the students are doing. So my role here, although, you know, LACHSA is the best and the most wonderful art school there is, it's still a public high school. And so my role here is to make sure that that all the boxes are checked and everything is great for these kids, so they can graduate. And as you know, and you know, yourself and everyone, probably most of the people watching here are, you know, have gone to different universities and worked professionally, and to have that LACHSA diploma is really special. And that's my goal, is to make sure our students get that, and they get that in the best way and the most supportive way possible. So that's what I'm doing here. And I love every day is a new adventure. Every day is exciting. And, you know, we've got kids out there working. We've got kids out there who are just creating the most magnificent art that there is. We just had an art show. We've had so many, and as I said, you can check our website, and Jeffrey will be addressing some of our shows coming up. But I'm just very honored and fortunate and blessed to be here, and thrilled to get to work with this team as we create some more art and magic for LA and for the world. I think big.
Absolutely. Tina, thanks for being here and sharing what's going on with the school. And we met just a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
And Mori had been pushing us to, not pushing, he just sort of said, the board, our legacy board, had met, and he'd been talking with you, and there are things we wanted to do and things you wanted to do. And he said, you all are talking about the same stuff. You should be talking to each other. So he put us in an email together. We immediately set an appointment, and it was like magic. I met my sister from somewhere else.
That's right.
The first conversation was just absolutely like a whole new LACHSA magic. And from that came the conversation about having a homecoming, because we wanted to bring alumni back on campus for what we were calling an alumni weekend. And Tina had been talking to the students who wanted to have a homecoming, because in all this time, 30 some odd years of the school, we've never had that. And so next September, we will have, for the very first time, through partnership with the LACHSA Legacy, the LACHSA High School, the Foundation, and the Parent Association, we will have a first ever LACHSA homecoming in the last weekend of September.
I am so excited.
Yes. So hopefully all of you all will watch, who see this video, will watch it. Follow us on our Facebook pages, follow us on our YouTube pages, follow us on our website, and also Instagram for those that have them, and Twitter and Snapchat and TikTok. Follow us wherever you can find us, and stay involved. Get involved with the foundation. Get involved with the legacy. Also, make sure that your parents are getting involved with the parent association. And so we're really excited about what's happening. So with that, let's talk to our good friends at the foundation. And let me just say that if it were not for you all at the foundation, we are probably pretty sure the school would not have grown the way it's grown and may not be doing all that it's doing. The foundation has been there from the very, very beginning, along with our original founders of the school, those that supported and pushed for LACO to create the school. And Jeffrey, you're heading up the foundation, so we want to find out what's going on at the foundation. But let me tell you that I was in elementary school, I think, when I first heard the idea that this school would exist. And so everything about me wanted to get to LACHSA. So when I went to middle school, junior high school at Bancroft Junior High, the performing arts magnet there, I was waiting for this. And then when I was graduating, LACHSA was not here yet. I went to Van Nuys Performing Arts Magnet, and for 1 year, and the moment the announcement came out for LACHSA, I was filling out that application and sending it in. I didn't even tell anybody. I just did it. And auditioned, got in. But what I found out was that your foundation has really been the undergirding of the arts programming at the school since the beginning. So Jeffrey, thank you for being here. Share more about the foundation, what it does, why it's important, and its role with the school and your role.
Thank you so much, Daryl. I really appreciate that. And I think, it's interesting that we're here with LACHSA Legacy that represents the alumni of the school, and Dr. V, who represents the administration of the school, and Daryl, who represents the parents of the school, and the foundation that represents the resources behind the school. We're all stewards of the LACHSA Legacy, and so I think it's just so beautiful that that's the name that you've chosen for this endeavor that you're undergoing now. And the LACHSA Foundation has been part of that legacy since the very beginning. As you said, we actually are applying for a grant today and needed to find the original incorporation papers, which date back to 1984. The foundation was established in order to get all of the legal things we needed to do to start a new school like this. And it's surprising when we talk about LA now being one of the creative capitals of the world that LA didn't have an art school when you were growing up. I grew up watching Fame, the great Irene Cara song in the show and the movie, and I assumed that LA had always had a school just like New York did. And in fact, we didn't. And the foundation and a group of people from the county and philanthropists and educators got together and created this magical thing called LACHSA. We're all so grateful for them. But the deal that was struck back in the day is that funding a regular public arts school is its own thing in and of itself. To add this layer of super high quality arts instruction where we're literally training the artists of tomorrow, that was going to be an expensive endeavor. And so they agreed that there would always be private support for LACHSA that would be raised every year to fund the arts education and performances and exhibitions that take place in the afternoon. And so that's what the foundation's been doing since the inception of LACHSA, is going out and finding those resources to pay for the teachers and the tools and the training that LACHSA really needs to thrive. And we do that in a number of ways, from obviously gifts from people in our community who are very generous and grateful for the opportunity to come to the school. But we spend a lot of time really going outside of the school and finding companies and organizations and foundations. The County of Los Angeles is very supportive of us, writing grants and really matching every dollar that comes in from individual contributions to make sure that LACHSA really can grow and thrive. And it costs, it's over $2 million a year now just to run the arts programming. And the interesting thing is, when you look at the other art schools around the country, that's actually a fairly small number. And what our students and faculty and administration are able to accomplish with a pretty modest budget for the scale of arts education that we do is really mind-blowing. And it's a credit to the drive and talent of the students and their teachers in this administration. Another way that we raise money, I think you mentioned it a little at the beginning, is we do an annual fundraiser every year. We're now on our 6th annual one in this realm of doing the Future Artists Gala, as we call it. And this year it's going to be March 18th. It's here in Hollywood at the Avalon. And what's really special about it, especially for this audience, is that we always incorporate a number of our wonderful alumni to come back, who give back to the school through performing and connecting to the gala. And so this year, our honoree for the LACHSA Luminary Award is our own Josh Groban, who is familiar to many of you. Last year, we gave that award to Kahindi Wiley, who is also a very early graduate of LACHSA. And every year, we're choosing an alumni who's gone out into the world and really had some great success and gives back to arts education and the next generation of artists. So we're honoring Josh Groban at this gala, but our host is another, our MC and host is another LACHSA alumni, Corbin Blue. And so you can see both of them on March 18th at the Avalon, where we're going to raise probably $500,000 to support the programs of LACHSA in one night. And we'd love all of you to attend, either in person or virtually, if we can set up a system like this to do that. And stay tuned on the LACHSA.net website and the LACHSA Foundation.org website on how to get involved with that event. And if you want to support the school, you can always go to LACHSAFoundation.org or follow us on Instagram or Facebook as well. And my final connection that I want to mention to LACHSA Legacy is I auditioned for this role 5.5 years ago after my son auditioned to be in the theater department at LACHSA. He was here 4 years and graduated and is now off finishing his conservatory training and acting in the United Kingdom. And I attribute his desire and his drive and his success and being able to accomplish that all to LACHSA and the confidence that the amazing LACHSA teachers gave him and the LACHSA community supported him there. So this obviously is my job, but it's also a dream job because I get to support young artists like my son every day.
Wow. Yeah. Jeffrey, I think when the foundation started, it was called Arts High Foundation, wasn't it? In the very beginning?
Well, actually, it was originally the LA County High School for the Arts Foundation. Then it was the Arts High Foundation, and now it's back to LACHSA Foundation.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember the logo. What said Arts High Foundation was like a red splot kind of thing. Like an amoeba looking kind of hill thing. But anyway, that's
a lot of iterations, but at its core, supporting the mission of LACHSA has always been what we do.
Absolutely. And it's been fun. In the past, the foundation has done some things with Legacy. Before, we used to do a Valentine's thing for the seniors, and we used to also do some things for the graduates in the association. So we're talking about ways that between all of our entities, we can continue to collaborate and make the power of the LACHSA magic extend throughout the years being there and beyond. And we're also beginning to talk about how, with the school as well, how we will begin to look at recruitment, and before young people are able to come to LACHSA, getting them thinking about the LA County High School for the Arts when they're in elementary and junior high or middle school. I don't know what LA is calling it these days. Or when they're even in early days of high school, to be able to audition during that time. So we're looking at ways to continue to do that kind of outreach, to be a part of everything going on. Speaking of being a part of everything going on, we are clear that the success of our students really depends on the engagement of our parents. And when we started, there was no parent association. Some of our parents met each other and talked to each other, but most of our parents didn't talk to each other. We didn't know each other. They didn't know each other. We saw each other at performances, and that's how our parents got to know each other. Or we were carpooling, riding together, and we met with each other that way. But it's exciting to know that there's a parent association that is keeping our parents engaged also in the magic of LACHSA. And we have the current president of the Parent Association Board, Daryl, with us. And so, Daryl, would you share more about the history of the Parent Association, what you do, and how you support the school and how you support our parents who are living through this with us?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me here today. And I'm just thrilled to be here because I love talking about LACHSA, but I'm also thrilled to be sitting here with two of my favorite people in the world, Dr. V and Jeffrey. It's just, I can't even, I'll start to weep. Like, they're just so incredible to work with. They just can do people and get stuff done and have the biggest hearts you've ever met. Like, I love hearing about all of our different perspectives today and our experiences, but it's this shared passion that we all have for the school. And it's what drives us every day, is seeing these kids walk the hall, knowing how hard they work to get in those doors. And that's what we do. We want to support them and those efforts. So a bit of history before I get into the board, but I'm a parent. I've had 3 kids at LACHSA. My son Enzo is currently a sophomore in cinematic arts. My daughter Lola graduated visual arts last year. She's currently in Chicago at School of the Art Institute studying fine arts. And my daughter Isabella graduated cinematic arts in 2018. She's now working in post-production at Sony, which is her chosen field. She wants to be a film editor. And I can tell you, it is, even though she studied film in college, it is the work ethic and everything she learned at LACHSA. She's been promoted twice. She's only been on this job for about 4 months now, but she's already got her next year of work lined up. And because she understands, she's just yes and like she loves the work. So she credits LACHSA with all of that. So and I kid you not, every time I've been at this is my 10th year driving up to the school, I get goosebumps every time. I pinch myself. I can't believe how lucky we are to be at an extraordinary school like LACHSA. It's a gift. So in the past 10 years, I've seen so many changes at the school, administrations, developments, but honestly, like where the school is now and this push that we've had to make the school more equitable and diverse has just added to the dynamic community we have of stakeholders, for all the parents who are stakeholders and the students involved. And as I mentioned, I'm just so grateful that we have these visionary leaders now, Dr. Vartanian and Sue Freitag, our assistant principal. I mean, their dedication, you walk in the school, it's palpable. Everyone in that front office, the love these kids get from this administration, it's unbelievable. I don't know any school like this where they have this much love, and of course Jeffrey's commitment to in the foundation to keeping the lights on and the wheels turning every single day, that our kids have access to the best arts education in the world. So as I mentioned, I've been on the Parent Association board for the past 9 years. Most recently, I've been president for 3 years. I've been vice president. I've been secretary. I've been visual arts department rep, cinematic arts department rep. So I've done a lot, and I do want to mention that during the pandemic, I mean, it was an extraordinary time that, like, my as president of the board, like, has been during lockdown and the pandemic, but LACHSA did not skip a beat. I just don't know how they did it, that within a matter of days, it was up and running. And these kids, like, even though they may have been locked in their rooms, they created, they were thriving, they were connected. And so, you know, it was no picnic for anyone, but what this school, like, the show must go on, and it went on. And I just, the most extraordinary things I was able to witness during that time, what the kids were working on from home, that ability to think outside the box and create, it was astonishing. So that further cemented my commitment to the school, as no child was forgotten during that time. So so there's that. So I'm just so impressed right now with what the initiatives and the administration have done in the past few years. They've started a wellness center for the students and brought in a whole team there. They brought in Esmeralda Flores, who's amazing. She's our equity coordinator, and Kat, who's our outreach coordinator. The Parent Association Board helped them in their outreach efforts so we could reach further and deeper into Los Angeles communities. There are communities that don't know about LACHSA. and students who don't know this magical place exists. And Daryl, it's incredible to me that in 1985, I don't know how you found out about it without the internet, but that you just were like, nothing's going to stop me. I'm going to apply. So, you know, we've worked with them on the parent board to make sure that everyone in our community, that, you know, make sure that students in, you know, how many zip codes are there in our population?
Oh,
Like,
wow.
that students know this is a place for them to come. And I just, you know, I'm just so pleased to be a part of these initiatives, that in this transformation that's taken place, and it feels really holistic. And I sort of approach, you know, my obligations to the school that way too. It's sort of being student centric. Like, we are only as good as every child. Like, every child receives the same supports, the same access, you know, and the same care, you know, as every student in the classroom next to them. And I see it every day. I mean, you know, all you have to do is walk in those front doors in the morning, and every student gets a high five or a hug, or when they're called by their name and they feel the love. It's palpable. It just emanates throughout the school. So, so yeah, the parent board, we help students if they need assistance with AP testing. We help with overseeing the college fair, prom, graduation, making sure students have access to all these events, and overseeing all teacher appreciation events, parent education. We bring the community together that way by bringing speakers in to talk about issues that are unique to our population, you know, so it's not just like second, you know, college advocacy, but how to apply to schools, you know, conservatories, and filling out your, you know, it's a very different experience than just, you know, going off to college. So anyway, I've said too much, but I'm very, very thrilled to be at this school, and so proud to be part of this community and working with all of you. It's just been just such a privilege for me, and I appreciate it so much. So thank you.
And we're so glad that you all are there. You didn't say too much. In fact, you said you guys have a prom now? I am so jealous. We did not have a prom in '87.
Yeah, the Associated
you
School
owe us a prom.
their event. Yeah. So
you owe us a prom. So alumni that graduated before you prom, you owe us a special alumni prom.
Maybe we could do a prom corner at homecoming.
Or like a photo of some kind. I just signed the paperwork today, so yes, there is going to be a prom.
Awesome. Oh, I have another guest with us today coming in. My co-host for the Spotlights, Mori Edwards, is with us. Mori, glad you got your technical stuff fixed. Hey, welcome. Well, I think we got it fixed. Can you hear us, Mori? Okay, well, she's back. We can see her, and she's as young and beautiful as ever. So she'll talk to us. So Mori, when you are there, let us know. We see you in. But thank you, Daryl. You know, Daryl, you mentioned about COVID and what happened with the school. And I want to say thank you to, in the background today, I don't remember if I mentioned when we started, in the background today, working with us on our tech, is Atina, who is a graduate from 1990 in music, and was also our legacy secretary a few years ago, and helped to launch the Spotlight. It was one of her visions to do the Spotlight. And so she and Mori and Lee were leading those efforts a few years ago. And Atina had we were so sad all of a sudden we heard that the students that first year of COVID were not going to have their regular graduation because of COVID. And so she spearheaded an effort from Legacy to create these buckets that we gave out, and they were filled with all kinds of stuff. And members of our board went and packed them together, and they came on campus when the students were getting their diplomas, and gave out those buckets. And so that was a fundraiser that we were doing to raise money to do the buckets, to do that for the students. And so I think it was pretty successful, and I'm glad that we were able to participate. Tina?
May I add a little to that? When you say
yes.
It was not just a bucket. It was class of 2020, and it was just fantastic with personalized things and water bottles. And I mean, there was not just the monetary value of it, but the heart was in it. And I there were just 3 of us who were on the campus at that time. And fortunately, I got to be one of those. And so we just welcomed them. And that's how we just built. It was just so beautiful, this labor of love and the hours. I mean, it was fun putting them, watching them put it together. But we had a whole room, and it was just over 100 of these. And when the kids came in to pick up their diploma, what that did to the morale of like not being able to have a graduation, but just being recognized. And so it was so beautiful and so appreciated. And the kids had to come in one at a time. So of course we played pomp and circumstance as they picked up their bucket and their diploma, but it was just beautiful. And so once again, we thank you for that. And that was my first interaction with you, with your organization. And I thought, wow, what wonderful, wonderful people, because you truly, truly cared. So I had to mention that it wasn't just a bucket. It was a piece of your heart. So it was lovely.
And
Well,
I just
thank
have to echo Tina's statements, because my son was one of the graduates.
Oh, that's
So he
right.
received one and felt the love for sure. So
That's that's great, because we wondered, because it's COVID, so we didn't really get a chance to really experience it. So I'm glad to know that it really did mean something to people, and to the students particularly. And so yeah, it's really great. So you all can see that we have some great things coming up. The big thing that we talked about a little while ago was the new first ever homecoming for LACHSA, which will involve the students, the alumni, the parents, and the foundation. Every part of the LACHSA community will be involved in this homecoming weekend. And while there may not be a football game, but there may be theater games. And but we're gonna have some fun. It's gonna be great to be back on campus, to see people. We are going to continue at LACHSA Legacy to do our reunions and in support all of our classes as they begin to look at doing more reunions and more reunion activities with each other. So that's part of our vision and our goal as well. We hope soon to be able to restart our scholarship program and our teacher grant programs. All of this, everything that we do, takes the support of our community in donations. For us, it's membership. Your membership with LACHSA Legacy helps us do all the things that we're going to do, and we are able to then support the school, the parents, and the foundation. And we encourage you to be a donor, if you can be, to the foundation, to continue to support the tremendous arts that you got when you were at LACHSA, or that you may not have gotten if you are watching this and you're not an arts student, you weren't in LA and you didn't go to our school, but you want to know that young people are getting the very best quality arts education that they can get, not just arts quality, but a stellar academic education. And that is one of the wonderful things about our school, is that we don't just take people because you're talented. You really have to show up academically as well. We require that you are able to excel academically as well. And so there is that component. And if you are having it, the great thing about LACHSA is if you're struggling in those areas, you're more talented than you are good in math, they'll work with you. They help. And we're not just kicking people out because they can't do math, but we do want to make sure people are getting, so you can go anywhere and do anything. We have alumni that are lawyers, that are doctors, that are tech folk, that are producers, that are musical directors. They're working on Broadway, they're working at Disney, they're working all across the industry and in and out of the arts. Folks that are doing event planning and doing program management, running nonprofits like I do, other in ministry and things like that. So there are all kinds of ways that we are all still contributing to the arts world and to the community at large. And it's all because, honestly, there's nothing better than what we got at LACHSA. And so I'm saying thank you to you all, as you all have inherited our school and the work that started a long time ago. But it's so beautiful to know that it's continuing. It's great to know that the people like you three who have this amazing passion for the school, some of you have students that were there, some of you don't, but that you have this passion for the school, that LACHSA will not die, and it doesn't die. The magic of LACHSA is great. Speaking of which, can you all share with us a moment of LACHSA magic that you can think about? Just one thing that you can think of that is a LACHSA magic moment.
it's all magic every day.
It is. It's hard to pick one, right?
I have to say that my magic, and I'm not being silly about this, but seriously, every morning, seeing the kids get out of their cars after I know some of them have traveled for like 2 hours, seeing these kids in the morning, my staff knows that do not even talk to me between 8 and 8:30 because I belong to my kids during that time. And I even have turned down parents. I said, I'm sorry, I could talk to you at 8:30. And that's my daily magic. And that's what keeps, that's my heartbeat. So thank you. That's my moment, but it happens to be every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, Daryl?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. They happen all the time. And, you know, there are over 40 performances, exhibitions, film festivals that happen every year that are LACHSA quality of the talent of our students there that are just mind blowing. And so every time I go to one, it's like I'm watching a Broadway show. But very recently, one of the LACHSA alums who we mentioned earlier, Josh Groban, surprised the cast of Sweeney Todd. LACHSA Musical Theater was doing Sweeney Todd, and he took a back row in the audience, waited until the show had concluded, watched the students perform. And of course, he's playing that role on Broadway. It goes into previews in a couple weeks in New York. And all the kids were talking about while they were rehearsing the show was, I wish Josh Groban could see us do this. And they had no idea. And he surprised them with his LACHSA alumni enthusiasm, bounded down, hugged the entire cast, took selfies with all of them. And it was one of those magic moments of someone who left LACHSA, was a huge success, and now is giving back to LACHSA, gave back to those kids that night, and gives back in a number of other ways. And so that's a magic moment that just happened.
And soon we are expecting to have Josh with us on the spotlight. So like us, follow us so that you also can get an opportunity to chat with Josh when he's with us in the spotlight. Daryl, is there a magic moment you can think of?
Yeah, I mean, the one I that's coming to mind now, and I think I shared it with everyone before, at least in this room. So my daughter graduated visual arts, and during the lockdown, like usually if I go in a room, she throws a shoe at my head, get out, I'm working, you know. But during the lockdown, she's like, she was in the middle of an art class. It was during the arts in the afternoon, and a student was presenting their work, and she was like, Mom, come over, you got to see this. Look at this painting. Can you believe this? And I took a thing and listening to the students and these critiques, work with one another, the support, and the teacher was there navigating it, but it was really the students, the way they spoke to one another and built each other up. And, you know, it was so amazing and supportive. So I got to a few weeks ago, my daughter, who's now, as I mentioned, she's at the School of the Art Institute. It's one of the top art schools in the world. And she expressed frustration to me. She's like, I just don't get some of the students I had 4 crits this week. And I was a little disappointed that, you know, the comments were like, I don't get it, or this feels pedestrian, instead of, I loved your work. Your last piece explored these ideas. I want to see you build off that, which was the kind of comments I heard while she was at LACHSA. And she was like, it was really like frustrating for her that they didn't have that maturity and kindness. You know, I think they'll get there. They were first year students and they don't come from this culture. They didn't have the formal background that LACHSA students are exposed to. But I know that goes in all disciplines at LACHSA, that these students, you know, I had a parent say their kid wants to come to LACHSA for theater, but they were worried it'd be too competitive. I go, no, it's just the opposite. Like they want everyone to succeed because no one wants you to look bad on stage. So everyone wants to build you up and bring you up. And I've never seen like competitive, backstabbing. I don't even know, that's going too far, but none of that at LACHSA. I mean, there's just such absolute support among artists in our community. And it's a beautiful thing. So just so grateful for the artists we're putting out in the world, you know, and that level of generosity and compassion that they share with fellow artists. It's beautiful. So.
Yeah. It's all beautiful. And I have those memories from the very first moment of the students, the very first time we pulled up into the parking lot and had to walk up the stairs and come down and come through and get to King Hall, and walking in to this unknown experience, the very first moment that the school opens, the very first word that a teacher says, the very first time that we start performing or doing anything at all. And so it is everything is magic. And it's hard to describe it. I remember saying to one of the principals years ago, I said that there's no one that can speak about LACHSA better than the students and the alumni, because we, especially in those early days, those first 2 to 3, 4 years, where it was really an experiment, and it was unsure from year to year. At least after the first 2 years, it was unsure how it would continue. And there were times when LACHSA was going to maybe not do it again, and they want to get rid of some of our teachers, and we have to fight with them to keep teachers like Jerry and send letters and call up the superintendents and all those people. But there is nothing that I would give back if to say I didn't want it, right? Even some of the worst experiences that we have as teenagers, going through things we went through, there is nothing about LACHSA that I can't love. There might be some people I don't like that much, but generally, there's LACHSA is everything. Like I do more for the idea of LACHSA and LACHSA alumni than I would do for my colleges, and I love them too. But I absolutely talk about LACHSA. I wish that every student going who's serious about being in the arts, wherever they are in the world, I wish they could all come to LACHSA, whether they could go forever, and graduate from there, or at least come and experience a LACHSA workshop or LACHSA experience. I wish that for every artist, because there is nothing that fuels my life more, as in everything that I do in the arts and outside of the arts, as I perform or when I'm doing things in the community, or in politics or in ministry. Everything about who I am is fueled by LACHSA. And to me, that's the magic of it. And so we hope that you will continue to join us. We hope that you will reach out to Dr. V, reach out to Daryl, reach out to Jeffrey, wherever your passion is, wherever you feel you fit in and you can get in. We hope you'll join us with LACHSA Legacy, that you'll like us, you'll friend us, that you'll take out a membership if you're an alum, or if you want to support us, that you will donate to these fine places where you can continue to make arts happen, where LACHSA magic will live both in your heart and the hearts of everyone that's here. I want to thank again Hatina for being here, and thank all of you all for being here, and thank host for helping us coordinate and organize this. And we hope we'll get her back in next time. When I mention my board members, Lee Holmes, we want to mention Mori Edwards, Shakuntala Zakim, and Jerry Freedman, who are our current active board members. And we are looking, of course, for more board members who want to join us in this journey of continuing to support our alum and continuing to support our school. So we love you wherever you are. We miss you. We hope you're doing great. And we want the best for you. And we know that LACHSA gives you everything that you will need to be able to make it in the world. So thank you all. Our next spotlight is February 14th. So watch out for us on that date as well. And before we go, what's from the three of you all, any vision that you have with this new collaborative effort that we have? What do you vision for all of us? What do you vision for the LACHSA community, with us all working hand in hand together?
I'm going to use your word, magic. I think it's going to be great. It already feels great. And I'm looking forward to our first homecoming. And I'm just very excited about that. So that's where my mind is right now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use the word connection, and connecting alumni from all across the country and really around the world back to, as you said, Daryl, that original sort of spirit of LACHSA. It is a unique spirit. People are doing amazing things everywhere, and LACHSA students work together, and they find each other after they've left LACHSA and do projects together. And I think we, all of us collectively, can foster that success going forward, and I'm excited about it.
Daryl?
Yeah, I would love to attend a LACHSA alumni event, a showcase of sorts, or just something that brings together that graduated community of artists and not just artists, but lawyers and doctors. And, I bumped into Jancy the other day. She's studying neuroscience. She's an incredible visual artist, absolutely astonishing. She's got a full ride to Pomona where she's wants to become an MD. And it's like, but her experience in blocks has shaped her. And I'm just using her as an example. There are so many who go into different fields, but it's that idea of being able to think outside the box, creative solutions to everyday issues that we face. And it's like these kids are a force for good in the world. And that's who we want to keep putting out there. So I would love to go to an event and just like see what everyone's doing, where that good energy is going in this world.
That is so funny that you say that, because that has been something we've talked about for years, and we're trying. That's what fueled the idea of the alumni weekend, was to bring alumni back to do some of that and work with students. So maybe somewhere in a piece of this homecoming or somewhere along the way, that vision, Daryl, that you mentioned will come to fruition. And again, I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you for joining us on the LACHSA Legacy Spotlight, and for being spotlighted for the amazing work that you do to keep the community going, to keep the school going. And we look forward to years and years and years of togetherness and connection and LACHSA magic. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.